Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Profitable Home Services Podcast. This is the podcast where we uncover hidden profit leaks and help you build a business that's not just busy, but wildly profitable. I'm your host, Diane Gardner, and today we're going to dive into the topic of mission, vision, and core values. And we're going to find out why they're important. They're not just fluff. They're very important, and I think we'll probably, or most likely, find a hidden profit leak as we're walking through this topic. So many people are wondering, well, what is mission and vision, let alone core values? Why are they important? They're not just something that you slap on maybe your lunchroom wall and forget about it. They're not something that some marketing agency helps you come up with and they get put into a file and then they're never pulled out again. Mission and vision is a living concept that needs to be talked about at every meeting, should be in your various communications with your team. It should be out there. Your customers know what your mission and your vision is. Everybody that's part of your team needs to understand your mission and vision. Otherwise, how do we know where we're going? I live in northern Idaho, and if I want to go see one of my friends over on the East Coast, say I have a friend in New Jersey and I want to go see her, well, I have to have some sort of a plan. I can hop on an airplane. I can get in my car and drive. I could take a train. I've got lots of different choices to get from Idaho to New Jersey, but I have to have a plan, a future plan. I want to go see my friend in New Jersey, but then I need to define how that's going to happen. And that is how mission and vision work in your business. Your mission is what you do, who you serve, and how you do it. It's the nuts and bolts of here's how we do things in our company. It's it's not just the now though, because we always have plans of growth and scalability as we build out our companies. And that's where vision comes in. Vision is where you're going. In my case, I want to go to New Jersey. I need a goal. Where am I going? Or I want to reach the $1 million mark, or maybe it's the five, or it's the 10, or it's the $25 million mark. It's the future of what you're building. And it's not just for your customers, it's also for your team and for the legacy that you will be leaving behind with your business. So we need mission to keep us going and how we're going to do it, and we need vision so we know where we're going to do it. But I want to insert something else. I think we also need core values. So often I hear just mission and vision talked about, and they forget the third prong of this stool, which is core values. If we haven't identified our core values, then how can we expect our team to understand who we are and what we stand for? I'm going to give you some examples from core values within my own business. Our core values say that one of them is integrity. It says, do the right thing regardless of the outcome. It includes doing what I say I'll do when I said I'd do it. And that's a big one with me. If we start getting out of alignment with that core value, it becomes a big deal in my office. Another one is excellence. Demonstrate accuracy and attention to detail and going the extra mile for our team and for our clients. Another thing we have around our office is get it done right the first time. So sometimes that means stop and adjust the plan so that we can get it done right the first time. I don't like callbacks. I don't like redos, things like that. They're a time waster and they're a big profit leak in all businesses. Another one in my office is wisdom. Constantly looking for new learning opportunities for personal and business growth. And I encourage that in my team members, not just in myself, because I want them to constantly be growing, learning new skills, becoming a better person for having worked for us than maybe they were when they came to work for us. Another one of our core values is making a difference. This one includes educating our clients with ways to build a stronger and more profitable business. This one's very important to me. It's the whole reason why I do what I do in my coaching programs and my accounting services. If I can't make a difference in somebody's life, then I've not done my job. And I love making a difference. I love watching that light bulb come on and seeing that aha moment when they get it and they see that by changing this behavior, we now get a much better result. Another one of our core values is gratitude. My team gets tired of hearing me talk about this one. Being thankful each day for our team and our clients. We have a morning ritual here in my office where we each have to share 3 things that we're thankful for. And sometimes it feels like really hard work to come up with 3 things I'm thankful for. And then I chastise myself. We have so much to be thankful for. Number one, that we live here in the United States of America. What a blessing that is. And that God created beautiful country for us to live in and to work in. And in my office, I get to work with some of the most amazing home service businesses out there. And that is plenty for me to be grateful for each and every day. So that's just some examples of core values that your team needs to know and understand your core values right along with your mission and your vision. So I want to share what's the mission statement. Let me start with the vision statement in our office. Our vision statement says we envision a future where home service business owners lead with wisdom and foresight, implementing effective strategies for lasting financial prosperity. Our guidance empowers home service business owners to achieve growth, exit on their own terms, and double their profits, cultivating high performing teams and a legacy of success. That's my driving vision. This is where we want to go with our coaching and accounting type services. Our mission says that we are guiding home service businesses towards transformation, leadership, and financial success. And so you can see by having all 3 of those as part of your 3-legged stool, we now have a good platform for growing our teams and teaching our teams and helping them to give better customer service to our customers and our clients. So I'm going to just break this down a little bit more. So often in our team, we see them just doing their job, whether it's a technician, whether it's a salesperson, a CSR person, position it might be, they're just doing their job. They're just answering the phone. They're just installing whatever it is you install. They're just putting out a fire. And that's all they do. That's just what they do. And they're not able to make the correlation between what they do and how it works for the whole company. When your mission and vision are crystal clear and your team knows and believes them and understands them, then that technician knows why you insist on quality work. He or she understands why you want that first impression when they show up at a customer's home to be amazing. Complete with a clean uniform, complete with a clean looking person. Hair is trimmed. The person looks clean and neat and ready to work. The fact that they clean up after themselves when they're done, so the homeowner is not left with any mess. I was so impressed a couple years ago. One of my clients is a roofing company, and they came and put a new roof on my office building. And they cleaned up amazingly well after themselves. Those guys understood why this particular business owner was adamant about the customer service level that he did. They were amazing while they were here. We want that CSR person or whoever is answering your phone to understand that they may be the first impression of your brand. They may not, because somebody may have started with your website, but that first impression is so important. And then your managers and probably even yourself stop just putting out fires and they start leading the company, putting on that more of an executive or a CEO hat when you really are crystal clear on your mission and vision. When we have your mission, your vision, and your core values all in alignment, then your team members feel a sense of ownership. And ownership creates accountability, and accountability drives profit. So, normally I share a hidden profit leak with you at the end of each episode, but I'm going to say right here is a huge profit leak. And I see this over and over and over when I'm working with home service businesses, that the lack of mission, vision, and core values. How can your company move forward successfully? I hear the term quite often. I feel like I'm running an adult daycare. Well, let's go back and visit with mission, vision, and your core values. Have you clearly defined them? Do they need to be updated? Maybe you did this 5 or 10 years ago. It's time to pull them out and go through the whole exercise again and update them for where your business is today. They're not something you just do once. Now, I redid mine about 2 years ago because what we had before was no longer relevant to where we are today as a business. So it's something you want to look at on a somewhat regular basis. Maybe it's once a year. Do we need to freshen it up, change it up a little bit? Making sure that your team fully understands. I often use the analogy of a hand. We, as a business owner, we're the palm of this hand. Our team members are the fingers, the thumb, they might be the wrist, they might be the arm, but without all those pieces, this palm of the hand is worthless. And it's the same thing if we hold the knowledge of our mission, our vision, and our core values right here, meaning in our head, and your team member doesn't understand it, they've not been told multiple times, then how can that extend on out into the rest of your team? And we want to apply those core values to your internal team, not just to your customers. Because the way we treat our internal team, which includes our employees and it flows over into our vendors, the way we treat them, the level of service we give them, is the level of service that your team will turn around and share with your customers. So stop and think about that. There's some pretty meaty pieces there and a big hidden profit leak that does not sit on your P&L with blinking lights saying, find me, find me, find me. When we have core values, mission, and vision all in alignment, employee retention increases. When employee retention increases, people are staying because they feel like they're part of something bigger. They're not just the person, all I do is just go to work and I answer this stupid phone all day long. That's not who they are anymore. They know that they are the director of first impressions. I used to have that title for a receptionist years ago. We had to get her mindset turned around, so we made her director of first impressions. And she took that and ran with it. Because all of a sudden she had ownership. She was doing more than just answering the phone. So think about things like this. Recruiting gets easier. People want to work for a company that has a purpose. And they want to be able to buy into that purpose and feel like they found a home there. And I think that goes for different age of people, whether it's the younger people or the older ones. They'd like to know that they've got a home, they've got a nest, they've got some place that they feel safe and secure, that they can be happy coming to day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. And they want to be proud of who they work for. They want other people to say, wow, I've heard that this is a really good company to work for. And they go, yes, it is. And that does make your recruiting easier because you've got people wanting to come work for you. Instead of trying to fight so hard to find good workers, you've got people coming to you saying, hey, do you have any positions open? Your customer and service levels improve when your employees fully buy into mission, vision, and core values. When your customer service levels improve, it's because your values are getting lived out at every single touch point. Touch points may be your marketing, they may be your website, your phones, your actual people out in the field. They can be lots of different places in your company, reaches out and touches your customer. And we want your customer to get a well rounded experience with similar outcomes at every step of the way. We don't want a wonderful CSR on the phone and a grumpy technician or installer who ends up at their home. That just killed the experience that they had up to that point. So we really want to make sure that everybody is bought into this. And the only way for that to happen is us as owners to bring this up on a regular basis, to give pop quizzes, make it fun, turn it into a competition of some sort. And let's drill this information into our team. Another benefit of having the three-legged stool all working well together is your efficiency increases. When people are in alignment, you'll find that you need less supervision out there. There's less fires to put out because now you have a team of people who are thinking and caring. They're not just doing the bare minimum to get by in their job. Because if they are that kind of a person, they're gone and they're replaced with an A player because it's so much easier for you to recruit now. Now, none of this is going to happen overnight. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some time. But what if you had a team of all A players and that attitude of just doing enough to get by is no longer there? What if we turned that tide and started reaping the benefits there? Another benefit is that wasted labor drops. This ties back into that people stop doing just enough. Well, what would that do to your callbacks? How many callbacks could you reduce if your team actually cared? Think about that. Every time you have to do a redo or a callback, whatever you call it in your office, it costs you money. It costs you money because you've already paid that person to do the job the first time. Now you pay them to go back and do it the second time. So not only are you losing the time that you could have billed out for going back and doing that job, but you're having to pay that person a second time unless they're on some sort of a different pay type schedule. But if we could eliminate or greatly minimize the number of callbacks just because people care. They want this company to be successful. They want to be a part of this movement that you're creating in your company with a very strategically aligned mission, vision, and core values. Mission and vision and core values are like hidden gears sitting there behind your operations. Nobody sees them from the outside. When they're turning smoothly, your team moves together like a machine. But when they're missing or when they're vague, you get misalignment, drama, confusion, and all of that results in massive profit leaks. And this is one area in my profit amplifier, profit transformer type coaching programs. We dig into this area in businesses because we know we'll find quite a bit of savings in here. Money that goes straight to your bottom line. You didn't have to sell anymore. You don't have to get out there and spend more money on marketing. We just have to fix some hidden leaks within the company. So, how can we bring this to life in your business? Let me give you a couple ideas on this. The first falls, we want to go back and either define or refine or update your mission and vision statement, as well as your list of core values. Keep them short, keep them powerful, and keep them real. Make sure that they will roll off the tongue and somebody can repeat them back to you. Communicate them regularly, whether it's in meetings, trainings, posters that you put on the wall, in your one-on-ones, things like that. Use them when you're hiring so that your new prospects have an idea of what they're stepping into. This is what our company lives by, and share them out there. It also allows you to use them as a litmus test when you have to fire somebody. Is this person living up to our core values, our mission, and our vision? And then take time to celebrate wins that align with your core values. Make sure that you're reinforcing behaviors that move the company forward. We want to really dig in and find those behaviors. And how can we make a big deal of them? And that will help also to motivate your team. These are just some of the topics that we cover in our coaching program. I wanted to kind of go down a checklist that I created having to do with how to actually implement mission, vision, and core value in your business. So if you've not already done so, define your mission, define your vision, and define your core values. It's easy to, you can Google a list of core values and then just go down that list and say, ooh, I like this one, and this one. Try not to have more than about five, maybe six. And it's really hard to do. Or reach out. We're happy to share a list with you. Ensure that all of these, your mission, your vision, and your core value, are concise, they're free, they're clear, and they're free of jargon that only means something to your company, not to others. And the ultimate test is, can every team member repeat them back to you in plain English? Do they fully understand it? Share them at your next team meeting. Share them in your onboarding, your employee handbooks. Post them visibly around your shop, your office, in your vans and trucks. Incorporate them into your email signature or your staff bios. These are just some ways that you can do this. Integrate them. Use them in your hiring decisions. Review the roles of your various team members. Are they aligned? Are they aligned with your vision? Are they aligned with your mission? Recognize and reward those behaviors that reflect your mission. Talk about them during performance reviews and other one-on-one meetings that you have with your team members. And then let's start measuring the impact of this. Once we know that we've got this humming along in your business, let's start measuring it. Can we track employee turnover? Is it decreasing? I hope so. I know it will once this is aligned. How about surveying your team for morale or engagement? You may have some great ideas out there that you're not thinking about. Track your customer service reviews. Are they improving? Are we getting higher scores? Are we getting more 5-star reviews? Review your profit margins. Is your team driving in and bringing in more value? We should start seeing it in that bottom line profit if these things are aligned and if they're working well together. We want to review these things at least annually. Sit down and look at them. Do they still hold true? Do we need to make any adjustments or any changes? Because our businesses grow, and as they grow and over time, they change. So we want to be constantly thinking about this. And by adjusting your mission vision as you go forward, you may not need to adjust your core values so much, but your mission and vision, you'll constantly keep your team feeling like they're in alignment. And then get feedback from your team. This helps them to have increased buy-in, and it helps them to feel like they're part of the process. Make sure that your mission, your vision, and your core values are something that's being lived in your company and not just laminated and put on a wall and now they're dusty and nobody looks at them. When your team is aligned with where you're going and why it matters, accountability and profitability will follow. What would it be like if you had a full team of people that were accountable for their actions, accountable for certain KPIs? Maybe you started tracking things in certain departments and you're getting reports now and you're watching those numbers go up or go down depending on what it is that you're tracking. And moving your company into a better position, moving your company into higher profitability. This can happen. This is a reality. It really can happen. I've seen it happen in numerous home service businesses, but it will take some work. So if you're interested in pursuing this topic some more, please reach out to us. We're happy to hop on what we call a profit impact call, and we can talk about what this might do for your company. And if we feel like you're the right fit and we're the right fit for you, we'd like to consider looking at one of our coaching programs. We've got several different multi-layered tiers depending on size of business and things like that. So just be thinking about that. How can we really push in this area? Mission, vision, and core values. It's not something that you hear often in a lot of sales trainings and things like that, but it's a very important piece of your three-legged stool: your mission, your vision, and your core values. If your team doesn't know what you stand for or where you're even going, then you're bleeding profit. You're bleeding it through inefficiency. You're bleeding it through low morale, high turnover, people who don't care. They're just here to do the minimum. When we have clarity, it pays off for you. When our team is confused and they don't care, we are bleeding profit. If you've been following this podcast for very long, you hear me talk about the leaky bucket theory quite a bit. In the leaky bucket theory, we have picture a bucket with holes in it. We've got holes where water's just pouring out, and then we've got holes where it's kind of streaming out, and then maybe smaller holes where it's dribbling out. Well, this is one of those areas where it's potentially pouring out, not just dribbling out. So if we can get your team aligned, or when you get your team aligned, your profits will start showing it. So anyhow, I want to say a big thank you for joining me today on the Profitable Home Services podcast. I hope you found value in today's episode. And if you did, would you take just a moment to leave a review or share this with another home service business owner? Also, would you take a moment and go out to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe? We'd really like for more people to hear the educational pieces that we're sharing out there, and for them to be able to start thinking about the different hidden profit leaks that they might find in their business. If you'd like help in identifying profit leaks and building out your pricing and your service structure to support real growth and support real profit, reach out. We'd love to help. Our coaching programs are built to help home service business owners just like you increase your profits and your cash flow, because we know that you can take your profits first, you can hire a great team, and you can enjoy your business again. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of the Profitable Home Services Podcast. Bye bye.